Welcome to CodeSpider. In this video, we are going to discuss what is worker service in .NET Core 3.1. In this video, we discuss what is worker service in .NET Core 3.1, how to create worker service in .NET Core, and the benefits of worker service. Let's first discuss what is worker service in .NET Core 3.1. Worker service is same like as Windows service in .NET Framework. As we use the Windows service to do some background task like this, basically Windows service is used to do some background task. That means to run some background task in .NET Core, we need to create a worker service instead of the Windows service. So let's first understand what is worker service in details. A worker service is a .NET project built using a template which supplies a few useful features that turn a regular console application into something more powerful. A worker service runs on the top of the concept of a host which maintains the lifetime of the application. The host also makes available some familiar features such as dependency injection, logging and configuration. Worker service will generally be long-running service performing some regular occurring workload. Then understand what is prerequisites of worker service in .NET Core 3.1. You have most Visual Studio 2019 and the .NET Core SDK 3.1 is to be there, and those people working on Visual Studio 2017 and .NET Core SDK 2.2, they can use the typical Windows service in .NET Core as well. So how to create Windows service in .NET Core SDK 2.2, we have already created the videos, and the link is shared in the description box, you can find there. So to creating worker service, there is two ways we can create: using command prompt. We can create, also you can create directly going to the Visual Studio. So to create a new worker service project using command prompt, you need to type as in the command window .NET new worker is for the worker service, then your project name. But in this example, we are going to discuss how to create worker service in Visual Studio. So flip to Visual Studio and we'll see there how to create the worker service in .NET Core 3.1. Open Visual Studio. Click on create a new project. Here we need to type as worker service. Select the worker service project here, then click next. Set your project location here, set your project name, let's say worker service demo, then click create. And here you can see only one template is available, is an empty template of worker service. We are not using the Docker support, so let uncheck it and click the create button. You can see here now the worker service demo project is created for us. If you are familiar with the .NET Core console application, then you can see that the structure is almost same there. Here you can find the offsetting.json file and the program.cs file, and another new CS file is available. This is called worker.cs. We elaborate all these files one by one and we'll discuss for the use of this. So first we discuss program.cs. The class consists of the required main method, entry point of .NET console applications. The .NET runtime expects to locate this method within the program class when it starts the .NET application. The iHost builder interface defines a type which uses the build pattern to produce an instance of an iHost. And this template is create a host builder by calling the create default builder method of the host class. And here the services.add host services of worker is registered the worker service of that project. Then move the new file that is called as worker.cs. This worker class is something new which you will not find the default ASP.NET Core project template. This is where the magic of the hosted services combine with the host and provide the basic worker service. And this worker class is derived from the background service abstract base class. Let's go to the definition of the background service class. You can see here the background service abstract class has implements an interface named as iHosted service, and background service class include an abstract method named as execute async, which we must override in our subclass, just as the worker class provided in the worker service template. Here you can see in the worker.cs the execute async is override here, and the execute async returns a task which internally the background service expects to some long-running workload. It will start the task which then runs in the background. Also you can see in the background service there is another two virtual method is there, is the start async and stop async. We need to override to the start and stop the worker service. We'll discuss in just a bit. Then here another is offsetting.json file. Offsetting.json file is usually we use to store the some connection string or some key or value information in there. And using the I configuration, you can find the key and value pairs. If you are new to how to find the connection string or how to find the key value from the offsetting.json, we have shared the videos link in the description or in the I tab, so you can find there. So you have a obvious question that this is look like a console application, so then how it act as a worker service? Well, in the program.cs, you can see that the services.add hosted service of worker, it converts the console application to the worker service. In this worker service demo, we have to create a txt file and we append some text in timely manner. We can check there in every minute some text is append on the txt file and process our background text. And in this application, we are going to use the serial log. Serial log is used to basically to manage the logging information. Go to the project and right click and go to the manage NuGet packages, and here we need to type as microsoft.extension.hosting.windows services. The latest stable version is not supported, I have checked earlier, so we need to install a 3.1.6 and install this. Let's accept this. We install this package because we need to host the service into our services.msc. It is installed. You can see here the dependencies is add here, microsoft.extension.hosting.windows services. Also we need to add the serial log. You can install here. Also we need to another package need to install serial log.sinks.file. This serial log.sinks.file writes serial log events to the text files in a plain or JSON format. You can see all these packages has been installed in our project. So first we need to modify in the program.cs file. We need to add the logging mechanism here. Here add is log, and this log is present from using .serial log namespace log.logger equal to new of logger configuration dot minimum label dot debug dot minimum label dot override. You can set anything, Microsoft dot label dot warning dot enrich dot from log context, then dot write to dot file, and here we need to append the file path. We want to append the file in the C drive, so just make as C drive colon, then let's name as logfile.txt. Then finally we need to add as dot create log. That's it. Here we need to add try catch block because if there is any fatal error on the runtime, then that should be managed. In the try block, let's add the information here, log.information. Let's say we add worker service is started, and here we need to return. Like this, if there is any error, a fatal error, we can add the information like log.fatal, then we need to pass as ex. If there is any error, then worker service suppose have some error, then we need to return here. Then finally, so in the final block we need to add log and closing clause. Here in the iHost builder we need to append the use.windows service. So to do this, let's remove this, and here we need to add curly braces, and here we need to end this. Then we need to return as arguments dot use windows services. Then there is no need to change here, and here we need to add dot use serial log. So let's discuss again what we do change in the program.cs file. Here we initiate a logger that should be logged into the process into a txt file that is to create it on the C drive. In try block we call the create host builder method. In the iHost builder we added dot use windows services to register the windows service, and these services is enable the worker services. So all the changes has been made in the program.cs. Let's move to the worker.cs, and here in the worker.cs we need to override two methods. Let's copy this method, paste here. We need to override this, and here we need to return base dot start async of cancellation token. Like this, let's copy this method stop async, and this need to be override as stop async cancellation token. In the execute async method, we need to check if this website is running, then it provides success message, else provide the error message. First we need to declare a HTTP client here, private HTTP client, let's name is client. Then in the start async method, we need to initialize it client equal to new HTTP client, and here we need to add client dot dispose. That means when the service is stopped, then it should be disposed. And here we need to add some logger information. Let's say the service has been stopped, and here we need to check var result equal to await of client dot get async. We need to check get value, and let's copy this website name codespider.com. that means if the codespider.com is available, then it should be written as success, else it will return as failure. So we check as if result dot is success status code is true, then it should be print as, let's copy this and here we append as, else also append another information. Suppose we need to add as course provider is running and status code is let's result dot status code. Like this, change in the else part, course powder is down, and this logger.log information is to be maintained when the worker service is running and what is the time, and it will take await is task the delay, and the 1000 is up to the millisecond, then this is the stopping token, and here the stopping token is come from the cancellation token, and this execute async is the abstract class of the background services. And here you can see the task delay about the 1000, and let's make as 1 minute. So to do this, so let's first check here minute to millisecond. You can see here 1 minute equal to 60,000 milliseconds. So let's copy this, append here. So all these things has been done our services. As it is a Windows service, we need to configure the services into the machine. So there are some steps we need to follow before we configure the service. First, we need to publish as in the release format. By default, when you debug the project, it should be on the debug format, but before configuring the worker services, it should be on the release format. It can be the debug format, so but it prefer about the release format. So first, let's publish this. So to publish this file, let's right click on the project, go to the open folder file explorer. You can see here there is bin folder and debug folder. There is no release folder. So to release the project, let's click on the project location and click here the command prompt, open the command and paste the release command here, .NET publish configuration release, and hit enter. The worker service is converting into the release mode. Let's again open the bin folder. You can find here the release folder is there, and in the .NET Core of 3.1 all the release file is there. Whatever in our code, all our code is converting into the exe. So we need to configure this using the command prompt. So to configure the worker service, we need some commands. The commands are, to set up the service, we need to create the command as sc for service, create, then the service name, display name is optional, then bin path. Wherever our bin path, we need to type as, suppose there is on the C drive and the full path is .NET Core App 3.1 release, then whatever your service name .exe. And here another command is to start the Windows service is SC start then your service name, and for the stop the Windows service you need to write as SC stop and the service name, and if you want to delete the Windows service or worker service you can command, and the command is SC delete worker service. But here you can see the command prompt is not run as administrator, so let's close this and open the command prompt as run as administrator. So we need to type as command to configure or set up the Windows service SC create then service name. I set my service name is my core service. According to your choice you can set your name. Then the display name is optional, I am not set here. I am setting here bin path equal to, let's copy our release mode path, copy this and paste here, then the exe file name worker service demo, let's copy this, paste here .exe. That's it. Let's hit enter. You can see here the success message is create service success. When you move to the services.msc, our service name is my core service. You can see here my core service is there, but it is not yet started. You can start manually also, but I show you how to create start service using command prompt. So type is SC start then your service name. Our service name here is my core service, then hit enter. You can see here the service is started, and when we move to the services.folder and refresh this, you can see here my core service is started here. And if you move to the C drive, you can see here the log file is generated here. Let's open this. You can see here some text is printed and the timing is 2020 4 o'clock 1:30 seconds. Let's wait for a minute and let's see the next text is happened or not. Let's open again. You can see first it printed on 16:01:30, then it's 16:02:32, then 16:03:33, like this. It is running on 1 minute interval of time. So let's learn how to stop the service using command prompt. So st stop then your service name my core service, hit enter. And after stop the service, let's open the log file. You can see here the text is printed here, the service has been stopped. And also when we refresh the file, you can see here this is also stopped here. And if you want to delete the service, so just type as SC delete my core service. You can see here the delete service is success. When you refresh this and search as my core service, you can see that there is no services found my core service. Let's again configure this, hit enter, and let's start this again. Let's refresh again. You can find here my core service is there and it is started. Whenever we move to the C drive and open the log file, you can see here in that time it is stopped, then it is again started, and here the worker is running, right? That means every 1 minute it is doing some task for us. So like this sample application, if you have any requirement of some background task like send some bulk email or bulk SMS, so you can do in that particular while loop. So I hope this example is very much helpful for the developer who has worked on the .NET Core 3.1 and want to do some task running development in using worker service. So let's wrap up again what you discussed so far in this video. In this video, first we cover what is worker service, how we create the worker service, and the benefits of the worker service. In the worker service, there is basically 3 files are main essential part. One is the program.cs, second one is worker.cs, and the third one is appsetting.json. In the program.cs is basically the entry point for the console application, and it creates the run host to manage the application lifetime and make a long running service. And in the worker.cs, it's basically the derived from the background service base class to defining the long running workloads which are executed as the background task. And appsetting.json is basically a JSON file which provides the application configuration values. And finally, let's discuss where to use worker services. If the application does not require any user interaction, then that time you may use worker service to doing some task in the background. A second one is use a host to maintain the lifetime of the console application until the host is signaled to the shutdown, turning the console application into a long-running service. And it includes the features common to ASP.NET Core such as dependency injection, logging, and configuration. You can find all the configuration of ASP.NET Core, so you can use that time also. And the main important is when you want to perform from the periodical and long-running workloads, then that time you must use worker service. I hope this video you have enjoyed most and found it useful. That's it in the video. Do like and subscribe for more upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.